Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today we're looking at Wolverine issue 39, cover dated May 1991, because it is Marc Silvestri Day and this is the latest installment in his Wolverine run from the early 90s. I gotta say at this point, one thing I haven't mentioned about Marc Silvestri on this title, his style will eventually become associated with Jim Lee a lot. Like he's going to take a lot of those Jim Lee isms into his own artwork. Up to this point here, I don't see any of it. It's still kind of a bit Buscema Mignola. I've talked about how I do feel in around this time he's coming into his own with his own kind of solid style that moves away from that. But you still see a little bit of it here and there. Case in point, this Wolverine figure, or actually, I forget his name, Albert, who's kind of a weird synthetic clone of Wolverine. You got Storm with her short haircut from the early 90s. And this character LCD, who's obviously that little girl that Wolverine always needs saving, needs to be saving. And in this case, she's actually a robot as well. The awesome android assassin LCD. So this is, the title's heating up here. Now, I think this is a part of the Wolverine run where it starts to get really fun and interesting, kind of kooky as well, but very action oriented. And I'll actually mention it, but the somewhere around 42 or 43 are the first issues that I bought. So I still remember seeing this on the newsstand, kind of flipping through it and just still being kind of mystified and finding comics very kind of weird. And I didn't know obviously what was going on in the storyline. So it just confused me a whole heck of a lot, honestly. Pretty cool cover overall, good composition. Bit of a Frazetta composition vibe here, the triangle, three planes. Definitely triangular, right? Everyone can see that, whether you guys draw or not. So that's it about the cover. I don't really have anything else to say. Still being inked by Dan Green, I believe. We'll see in the credits. Let's crack her open, have a look. So yeah, Larry Hama script, Marc Silvestri pencils, Dan Green once again inks, who I think does a great job over, I was going to say Mignola, over Marc Silvestri at this time. Pat Brosseau letters and Mark Chiarello colors. That's interesting too. There's a difference I feel with this issue in both in the coloring, I feel, and in the paper stock, right? So I don't know if you guys can see this compared to last few issues. Maybe it started on those other issues and I didn't mention it or I didn't really notice it, but it's noticeable here. The paper is still newsprint, but definitely of a better quality, excuse me. And I think the colors look a lot better on top of it. But it's still not that glossy paper where I feel like there's something that I don't want to say is lost, but something with the newsprint where it sucks in a bit of the black. And the black is not quite black. I like that look, and it's never looked better than on this kind of paper here. And I don't see any plate shifting or anything. Like the coloring is really clean cut and stuff, not too over the top. So I do want to mention and bring a lot of attention to the coloring in this issue because I think it's excellent. And Mark Chiarello as a colorist is generally excellent on anything he does. So yeah, I mistook him for Mignola there, obviously, because I find this kind of silhouette pose here very reminiscent of Mignola. So once again, I'll mention Silvestri's coming into his own, but there's still that Buscema Mignola stuff here and there. Still doing a lot of work as far as storytelling, very clear, and I feel like his sketchy style is getting a little bit cleaner. Like this here, to me, is so Mignola, right? Would you not agree? You could almost believe Mignola drew this somewhere around 1987 or 88. This too, you know. But it works for me. I mean, it's cleverly worked into his own style, right? It's not too obvious if you don't know. So you think it's Wolverine, but it's actually the synthetic being Albert, who's having some sort of a conniption. I don't know exactly what that word means, but this kind of looks like one. So then we get him catching on fire here. Like that's a pretty cool shot right there, right? That's a cool Marc Silvestri shot. He's doing the little ankle that I think he probably is taken from Mignola a little bit, and then Liefeld copies both of those guys and brings it to the extreme where the ankle is almost non-existent. Is this a Dark Knight Returns reference? Feels like it, right? I'm sure he was aware of that stuff. Great shot. Great use of part silhouette to obviously not show off his naughty bits, and then the upper body's a bit more in the light. I think that's well done. Just that little bit here helps with that effect. And LCD, no shadows, makes sense just to cut her away from that figure, right? Make it very clear. It's a good shot. Wolverine looks like Clint Eastwood here. This is almost like there's almost like old school Moebius doing Blueberry here, right? It's a great profile compared to a Liefeld profile. That's what you got to be doing. And these bits too, like the way excuse me, man, am I going to get this guy's name straight on this? Silvestri. The way Silvestri does the mid-shot characters and like the kind of quickness of the line and everything, like those mid-shots, I think are just as well drawn as the bigger up-close shots and the ones with more detail. He's obviously excellent with the body horror, right? All this stuff is very horror kind of inspired, very cool, very Aliens, right? The synthetic beings in Aliens and you know, the kind of synthetic guts coming out of them and stuff. That's, you know, it's an interesting way to do it. I mean, probably some white media added here, I would have to assume, in some of these parts, you know. Again, they're probably working pretty fast. Is this bi-weekly yet? Not yet, but it will be soon, I think. Yeah. So he's got a very efficient style. Has to hit those deadlines, right? This is pretty cool. Transition from, you know, all beat up to healed. Never understood why Wolverine's hair grows back, but that's just a thing, I guess. If it gets burnt off, it grows back. So if you cut Wolverine's hair, does it just grow back within a few seconds? So he's got the same hairdo. Comic books. Something about this shot I remember for some reason. I don't know why, if it was in Wizard or whatever. This is very good storytelling, good sequence, right? It's an emotional moment, even though she's a robot. You know, because she's about to explode, right, with this counter or something. I don't want you to die, Wolverine. That's funny. It was probably supposed to be Wolverine. Wolverine. Anyway, she talks like a, you know, a little child. I'm just a thing, not a wheel person. So sometimes she does it and sometimes she doesn't. Very odd. Good little emotional bit, just using eyes, and that's a quick draw. I like these bits too, when you have like a kind of a dark section behind all the panels. I gotta say, like all the overlaps and stuff, the way also adds to the sequence, right? Moving through it. It's like you're not just moving left to right and, you know, in one dimension, but you're actually popping out here and then going back and then popping out again, going back, right? Into the image. Creates a lot of depth, just with a few kind of design tricks. And so basically what's happening is LCD is counting down. She's basically like a bomb. So you're getting, again, the close-up, the way Silvestri does that here, right? Super effective. It might seem obvious, but, you know, if you're doing that sequence, would you think of doing it that way? Would you do a steady thing? There's, you know, where it's all panels, you know, same size, and it creates a different rhythm, right? A regular rhythm, and it's coming, where this is like kind of heightening the tension, right? That's the goal with the zoom in. Depends what you're going for, I guess. So we've got more of Albert here, still connipting a little bit. Not quite sure what's going on. Great artwork throughout, though. Once again, he seems to be experimenting more with these overlapping panels and stuff. He's doing it a little bit everywhere, actually, in the issue. More of it here. Yeah. So it's like he's, you know, starting to figure out some extra, you know, 90s style layouts here that he's throwing in there. The broken border, kind of quickly sketched out border here to give it energy and impact. Urgency, I guess, in this case. So yeah, so here you see that idea of a more regular countdown, kind of what I was talking about before. So here it's presented in a totally different way. And the rhythm of the panels also keeps it fairly steady, right? Because all the panels are shaped the same. Good layouts. Countdown continues, smart. Same panel layout, same rhythm. Same thing here, but it gets the numbers start moving around, right? Because it's getting chaotic, panic. Just a great sequence here. The way Silvestri's kind of set this up. And then as soon as we hit 1, detonation sequence terminated. All firing systems safe. There you go. She doesn't explode. And I guess we'll have to wait till next issue to find out exactly what happens after this. So there you go for today's review. That was Wolverine 39. Any questions, concerns, let me know in the comments. Feel free to, ask anything you'd like about the channel, about the comic, about the reviews, anything at all. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys being out there, and hope everyone out there has an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KINGCOMICS.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.